Hello, today's video is brought to you by the Minnetonka Coalition for Equitable Education, or the M.C.E.E. Today's video, we will discuss the definition of allyship, abolition work, and how to incorporate allyship and abolition work into the public education system. We'll begin with a disclaimer. Allyship expands beyond one marginalized group to people of distinct race, ethnicity, sexuality, gender, religion, nationality, neurodiversity, and physical ability. And more so, allyship is the ongoing commitment of remaining open to listening, learning, and healing. Now, moving on to the video. Catrice Jackson talks about three different categories individuals can exist on the allyship continuum: antagonists, advocates, and allies. On the far left, you have antagonists, people who actively oppose the rights for others. Antagonists tend to be argumentative, defensive, and aggressive. They also engage in victim blaming and exclude individuals, how often our society has stripped power away from. In everyday life, antagonists are people who engage in name-calling or put-downs. They minimize someone's lived experiences and may use phrases like tough it out, or they call people snowflakes. In the middle, you have advocates. Advocates are open-minded but reluctant to fully engage or participate in helping marginalized individuals. They talk the talk but don't always walk the walk. It's like the popular person who is your friend in private but isn't stick up for you when you're getting bullied in public. Another situation is when people will post topics related to social justice on social media but don't incorporate social justice into their everyday life. The next step is an ally. An ally is a member of an in-group who amplifies the voices and fights for the needs of an out-group members. Those were some fancy psychological terms. Let's put it in this way. An ally is someone who recognizes that they have power or privilege in specific spaces, like at their workplace, in public restaurants, especially within school. Although Jackson does not mention this in her book, there are scholars who cite one more crucial step: co-conspirators or abolitionists. Bettina Love, author of We Want to Do More Than Survive, Abolitionist, Teaching, and the Pursuit of Educational Freedom, shares co-conspirators are individuals who are willing to be uncomfortable and take a risk in order to protect a stranger. It is a throwback term to abolition, the original movement to outlaw slavery. Back in the day, abolitionists created secret networks to free Africans from white captors, breaking the law and putting their lives on the line. For instance, Love shares the story of Bree Newsome, a black activist who climbed the flagpole and took down a Confederate flag because it is a racist symbol. While doing so, a white co-conspirator, James Tyson, guarded her to make sure police would not harm her as she was taking the flag down. Like Tyson, we should all find ways to be abolitionists and put something of our own on the line to promote social justice, whether that be our physical bodies, careers, or social standing.
Now we're going to discuss the steps to becoming an ally and an abolitionist. On the left side of the screen, we have the steps to be an ally. On the right side of the screen, we have the steps to be an abolitionist. Feel free to take time now and pause the video. Reflect on each bulleted point on the screen that you see. We are only going to be highlighting a few. If we go back to the ally side, the ones we want to highlight are the first and second. Be open to listening and validating lived experiences. Do not minimize or deny what people have experienced. Second, project voices and amplify the concerns of people who don't have the same power you have. On the right side, to be an abolitionist, we want to be clear. If you hear something problematic, call it out, interrupt the conversation, and address it. Another thing that an abolitionist does is they normalize productive conversations about race in their social circles, workplace, or family. Often people disregard talking about race because it is political. But these conversations are not political. They represent the violation of human rights that are rightfully promised by the Constitution. Now you're probably asking yourself, how does allyship fit in education? No worries, we got you. 1. It's teachers who support students from distinct groups through personal interactions and when it comes to school policies, not just waiting for district leadership to make a decision. It's school administrations who promote bullying intervention programs, celebrating their students through cultural heritage celebrations and decolonizing their curriculum. It's fellow students standing together to support their peers who lack resources or are treated differently. It's parents who don't just ignore a comment when they hear another parent say something racist at the track meet. They speak up and they demand restorative action. It's alumni who, with their lived experience and self-reflection, return to their district to provide mentorship and guidance. And to those who still aren't sold on being an ally, let's phrase it this way. What do you want your legacy to be? Denzel Washington said, "You never know how or when you'll have an impact or how important your example can be to someone else." That's what a legacy is, leaving behind a part of yourself that makes our community a little bit better. Thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to follow the M.C.E.E. on our social media websites.